match. We'll cast that from a replay as well at the end. So that is the plan of action. We're about to go into Braddock versus B. So yeah, we just let these guys get started because we didn't want them to be delayed forever, basically. We didn't want them to be delayed forever because obviously we saw that series was kind of going a long way, had a good chance of being an ace match, which it was. I feel this was the right choice to just get these guys, because again, these guys were meant to start like an hour and 20 minutes ago, so we would have been like an hour 20 late arriving to this series. That was a really long clan war that we just had. That was a really long clan war. Bouncing Cow, thank you so much for the $5 donation. Boom. Where are you gonna go, buddy? Where's missing a bit of gold? I think lower right's missing a bit of gold. Like down here kind of area. Who's this polar bear? Is this Moonstruck Fool's polar bear? Hi, polar bear. How about just right here? How about get you nice deep on this branch? You hang in there a little bit. Now, we've got so many branches on this tree, I swear down. How did we ever fill a tree with decorations last year? Like, honestly, I know I'm kind of bait. I'm not really even baiting you guys. I just generally don't understand how we filled the tree with baubles. Like, I just don't get it. I don't get what we did. By the way, you might see our subscriber count at 475. When we get to 500 subs, we are adding the top of the tree. I don't know whether we're going to go red, silver, or gold yet. You guys can basically decide as far as I care. We'll probably do a chat poll. We got one of each color, so you guys can really just decide. So when we get to 500 subs, we're going to add the top of the tree on, which is kind of an important part of the Christmas tree. So yeah, we got a gold star. We've got a silver star. And we've got a red star. Very exciting. Andy Man, thank you so much for your gifted sub to Bouncing Cow. As we get this ready to go. As we kick this off. Wardy, does a movement purchase also hit the tree? I mean, kind of, but like you already have a decoration, so like I feel like you're just trying to really be greedy here, Moonstruck. I don't know what to tell you. If you know... Maybe, yes, I suppose so. I don't know how to confirm that you've purchased something though, because I haven't, I can't see it. I only get like monthly updates now. Alright. Top left-hand side. This is what we're going to just treat this as game number 1 of the series. For ourselves. Our Red Terran player is Braddock, starting up in the top left side of Triton. Going up against the Blue Zerg bottom right B. B opened up huge in week number 1 against the 3D clan. Took down Harstam and a Laser and currently 2-0 in the league. Again, one of those few players that is running a 2-0 record. So welcome B into the mix here today. Starcom last week, Braddock 0-2. Lost to Patience and Yeshi. Put up some good fights though, so hopefully we'll get something fun here as we go into our first game of this next series. So jumping into this one, getting this ready to roll, and seeing what's going to happen. So the matches that we've not seen so far, well, we'll treat this as game number 1 and we'll just talk about the other matches later. So we've got Braddock versus B, then Matt Braddock versus Kukra, then Cass versus Creed, Cass versus B, and then Vanya versus Bassett and Modius versus Bassett. As we get this going, Overlord coming forwards. So, Reaper coming down through the center of the map. As you do see the factory on the way down. So getting that factory up and running. A couple queens on the way out as well. A couple of Zerglings from B coming over towards, towards the ramp, having a look around, seeing what's going on. You do see the hatchery dropping in on the third base there, so a third hatch getting dropped into play, and just going to see the Reaper continue to patrol a bit at the front as our Zergling speed will start up from B. Getting that underway, rolling over the next few moments now. So yeah, Zergling speed on the way out, and these few Zerglings still just running around in the main base. Couple Hellions about to pop out. Starport is going to be done soon, so there's TVZ getting off to a pretty interesting start. By the way, I'd say buckle your seatbelts because Braddock and B, I feel like B is a player that plays a lot of long games. And Braddock likes to play a mech, which kind of invites long games, so absolutely expecting this to be a bit of a long matchup, honestly. Could be here quite a while in this first game of the day. As we get this going, so starting this off, reaping a couple Hellions around the side. Fusion Core drops in the main base as well. So again, that up and running as we do see the Hellions continuing down toward the third base. There's the Fusion Core about to finish. I mean, the Battlecruiser opening already a sign we're probably going to be seeing Mechie out of Raktok. Goes up towards the natural expansion. Couple of Lings going down. Hellions are going to be able to make that happen. Moonstruck, thank you so much for the 300 bits. Not being greedy, you're just trying to kill the tree ASAP. I'm telling you, dude, the tree's not dying this year. The Christmas tree is sturdy. It's solid as a rock. Oh, it's real sturdy. It looks good. Even with all the polar bears on it, it is not going anywhere just yet. It's fine. Like, you gotta remember, last year we put like 800 decorations on that thing. It fell over when we had like 600-ish on. I mean, we have like 50 at the moment. You guys are gonna have to step up your game if you want to hit 600, you know? That's all I'm saying. Like, and it's a better tree, so like, you're gonna have to really step up your game. Hellions here from Braddock, moving out through the center, gonna pick up a movement through the watchtower there, and you can see this Battlecruiser moving in across the map. Gonna start dealing some damage to an Overlord. So here we go, pressing in, VC dealing some hits. Queen's gonna start dropping down. Circle's running over. First Queen is looking as though it's gonna just survive. This Braddock getting quite a bit of damage done, actually. B wasn't really ready for this. Doesn't have units currently to defend the Hellions, so that's going to be all of those drones going down, and B is in a world of trouble. He's trying to rush up into a Spire, but just doesn't have the units to defend this here. So now these Hellions are just chasing down drones, and they don't even get any circling spawn here. They're just about going to start cleaning this up, really. SBC wasted some time hitting the Spore Crawler too. Could have gone in here and just picked off even more drones. So there's definitely questionable setups. I mean, B, I don't know why he's got a 4th hatchery in the front here either. That's also a very good question, but I mean, yes, he's got a 4th base up. I mean, that's all obviously just added towards Braddock's advantage right now. There's more Hellions showing up as well. The few Lings that came in just got cleaned up. B's about to be able to make Mutalisks. I mean, thanks for that, because he's going to need something, otherwise he's going to be in a lot of trouble. He's going to see this Queen getting chased away back down to the low ground. The Queen's coming in as well. Scan off over to the right-hand side. Couple of Crypt Tumors getting picked off, and even these Hellions are going to get in, right? So that's going to be at least a few more drones killed. I didn't like that decision to go further into the natural. Feels like the main's the obvious choice. We've got Lings behind you. I'll only get a couple more in the end then in this main base, but obviously it's still adding up. We've still got like a Marine here, a Hellion there, Hellbat picking off the hatchery. And again, adding up is really the issue as this Queen survives super low HP. It's just kind of at some point going to be too much of a problem because you're taking so much damage over a continued period. I mean, now you go back home as Braddock, all you have to really do is survive these Mutalisks with somewhat efficiency, and you're going to be in an amazing position. Rotron and Evo Chamber dropping in the back of the main. Did you see the Mutalisks coming through? A little bit of a cancel there. There's a Hellion sitting on the 3rd base. Battlecruisers coming forwards, and weapon refit on the way down for Braddock. So getting that Yamato cannon up and running. Rotron is going to finish here as well on the main. And you see the couple of Thors coming down to Extractors coming in as well. We're going to be seeing the +1 flyer attack upgrade. Also getting set to go. Mutalisks out over to the left-hand side, and the Hellions being chased away down the left-hand side as well. I mean, it's going to be interesting as the BCs are going to show back up. This very early 4th base doesn't really feel like it's got much chance of getting out of this one alive, right? I mean, a couple of BCs show up. The Mutas can't really fight the BCs because the BCs do very well against Mutas, and the Muta count's pretty low. The first Corrupt is now on the way up. Braddock just takes down the hatch and gets out of there. He's killed 8 more drones. And this is really a series where just Braddock is kind of walking all over it at the moment. Braddock having a great time as these couple of BCs back up to the top. Those are going to gather together. A couple of Thors on the way out too, obviously in case there's more and more Mutalisks. The Thors go a long way to helping out against that. Now we start to see the more kind of traditional Hellion Cyclone setup coming in. So it has just been a weird game. A lot of damage done early, B with Mutas out, and obviously you've got to respond to that as Braddock. So, you know, that's all stuff we've got to be thinking about here. There's our Ravagers moving around. SCV comes over, drops down a missile turret. Thor's morph in, and just going to be seeing these BCs still just cruising, looking to do some bruising over the next couple of moments. Picture has been picked off, and you have the Extractor being taken down. Going to see a Yamato coming down onto a Corruptor to teleport away, and he gets it. Corruptors might have gone there if they just went for it instead of moving and then shooting. Ugh, that was unfortunate. We have our BCs currently being repaired up by the SCVs, so SCVs getting this brought back online. Again, the Cyclones and Thors looking good over on this side. The Corruptors up the left, and we have a fourth command center in the center, going to be morphing in toward a planetary fortress. Is able to kill a Corruptor, and he's going to see Caustic Spray coming down. He's actually going to kill the main base, so well, if there was ever a time to make a move, it was absolutely then. You know, you're in a bit of a tough position right now as B. You know, it's definitely not been your game so far. You get the main base, but it costs you so many Corruptors. Okay, you got a battle cruiser as well, but we're still talking about the loss of 9 Corruptors total this game. Braddock's just going to take this as an indication to maybe move forwards. He's already setting up a 5th base on the top side. He's got this forward 4th base as well. Already a planetary fortress here, so those Mutalisks go down, not even a second thought about it. Looks like Braddock will just push. This Ravager's already in a little bit of trouble, and the Cyclones chasing them down. The Hellions still pushing forwards as well. And those Queens in a lot of trouble, actually. As they continue to run, they go super low. 4 of the Queens go down. Now these couple of Ravagers in some trouble. I mean, you're showing up as Locusts are coming out for the first time. I mean, the Swarmhosts are just going all over the place. Here come the Corruptors and the BCs. We'll try and drop a Yamato or two where possible. That one gets cancelled. BC's going down too quickly here. I mean, now that the Locusts have gone off, gone away, you can just see these units are going to continue to fight. There's just not really enough coming out on the ground to clean this up. Cyclones and Thors holding this out. The Corruptors make an escape. In the meantime, we saw a few SCVs going down, so a bit of damage dealt, and Nidus on the other side. Battlecruiser comes in to deal with that. Now we're going to get a lock on towards this hatchery. That might go down, and that is realistically a mining 4th base of B about to die here. He has got that forward base back up and running, but that's going to be hard to hold against a pushing Terran player. He has kept the drones alive, moving to the corner, and a couple of extra Locusts coming back into play again. The Roaches, well, mostly the Ravagers here coming in. This Thor just does so much damage to this, though, and was able to pick up so many of these units. A couple of extra units reinforcing, and still pretty crazy, right? Pretty close, but I think B is going to hold this off. Down a few workers in the game. A BC coming back over. I'm not sure where our Corruptors currently are. They were in hiding a few moments ago, and they're out up to this top side, so they're going to be in some trouble. Well, this BC is going to be in some trouble. The drop of the Yamato will go down. The Corruptors may be in some trouble now as the Cyclones are looking for a lock on. A few more Locusts drop from Swarmers, which come out of a Nidus on the top right-hand side. And these Corruptors are chased away down to the south, so they're going to be chased away. They're going to be pushed away from here. As these Locusts drop down, try and see what they can do. Going to expire as our Cyclones able to pick off the Overlord, so get picked off as well, as you do see more and more Cyclones coming up, +2 vehicle plating, finishing in a moment, +2 vehicle weapons on the way out as well. And our Nidus network finishing as Roaches and a Ravager out through the center. Now Cyclones here, going to come around the right hand side and just going to go for this hatchery. Will be picked off as see the Corruptors coming up, and Braddock is continuing to move away a little bit right now, and we'll get a couple of those Roaches, so pick off those. Again, Nidus Worm in the center of the map. So Hellion Cyclone Force chases our Roaches away. Plus 3 vehicle plating on the armory. The extra factories on the way from Braddock as well. The Stormhosts jump out. Hear them going down, and the Locust getting picked off. Nidus will go down. A couple throws of bars to push the Hellion Cyclone away as well. Jumping in on this now, the couple of Queens getting picked away at 2, and still a bunch of group spread getting picked off here in the early moments as pushing forwards. Gonna find another Queen. Braddock is still trading well in this. I mean, I think the biggest thing is B is really held back on just purely Roaches. Starting to add on an Infestor or 2. If you can get there, that's great, but loses this base, loses these drones. These Cyclones are going to lock on again. And they're going to pick off another set of Roaches before they're done here. I mean, in fact, this entire row of Roaches might just be in trouble. If the Cyclones get their lock-ons back, the Roaches melt into that Macfield Accelerated power-up. That's just going to be too well played from B, as Braddock will take game number 1 of the series. From our point of view, at the very least. So Starcom go up by 1 as we get this underway. So Starcom go up by 1, and we're going to get ready to jump into our second map here, as we'll have Game 2 starting in a moment. It's going to be between... our second one here is going to be between Braddock and Kugra, so it's going to be a TVP coming up next. Braddock did show some mech and TVP last week as well, so looking forward to see what maybe comes of that. We'll get that going again in just a moment or two. Alrighty, so... yeah, just counting down. We're just waiting for the players to join the lobby, and we're going to go straight into this Game 2 here, guys. Shouldn't be too long at all to get into this. Again, please check out that Matcherino page, !Matcherino, to get yourselves over there and to go check it out. It's all greatly appreciated, all the support we get over there, etc. Goes a long way to, does go a long way to helping out. So yeah, please go let me know what's up in the chat as well, let me know what's going on. As our players are readying up over here, so we're getting ready to jump into what is our second map of this second series. Starcom and 3D Clan scrap at the bottom of the table. A win here is important because if you pick up a win here, it really gives you a chance, I think, to... I really think it gives you a chance to, you know, if you cause an upset elsewhere, somewhere else along the way, all of a sudden you're in that position where it's like, oh my god, well, we can actually get out of this group now. So it all starts with a win in this series here today. As we are about to kick this off, and we'll be in game in just a few moments' time. Alright, so let's jump into game number 2 then. I just haven't actually updated the scoreboard because I was busy talking to you guys, which is funny because actually it's I didn't even have to host the game, so that's just me being bad. Alright, let's jump into this. In the bottom left-hand side, our red Terran player, give it up for Starcom's Braddock. In the Terran race, in the red, up against the orange Protoss upper right, 3D Clan's Kukwa. Some TVP here. Kukwa last week came in and lost to a laser. Put up a really good fight though. Was on this map as well. We had a really good fight between a laser and Kukwa last week. It was a really fun series. This Braddock's going to open with the proxy on this side to try and hop up in this position. That could get dangerous though, right? Because, I mean, if this gets blocked off, this Reaper's just kind of, you know, sat out in the middle of nowhere. So, Kukwa deciding to wall early. We'll see if he maybe gets punished for that in some way. Maybe some kind of proxy play from Braddock could pick away at those gateways. Absolutely a possibility here as well. SCV gets a couple nibbles on a probe, pushes it back out through the low ground here. Gateway finishes up, Cybernex Core begins to build, and that does complete the wall off on this high ground, so the Reaper will have to go the long way around into the main. And obviously the scout here from Kugra means he does now know, okay, well, you know, you've proxied your barracks at the very least. So obviously you know about that, you kind of know what's going on there. This Reaper going to finish from Braddock in a moment or two as our factory comes in at home, so that's obviously nice for Braddock. Kugra's probe didn't stick around to see if that factory was built at home, though, so that's something he usually should have as information, or a Protoss player should have for information at this point. But actually, that's not the case here this time around. Just gonna see the probe. It's going in towards that Reaper barracks. It sees it. Reaper makes its way in towards the main. Obviously, the Nexus here delayed from our Protoss player, but the CC delayed from the Terrans, so that kind of works two ways. What is nice here is, as the Terran player, you kind of keep the Protoss units at home for a good little while. And, you know, you get a couple probe kills so far. Obviously, put on some pressure, so you can go into the tech lab on the factory and the starport on as well. So typically at this one, you go into a Cyclone. And then with the starport, you have a couple choices. You can go Liberator harassment, you can go for a Viking, which can obviously be harassing as well. Kind of depends what you expect to see coming from your opponent. Right now, obviously no tech down from Kugra, and it is actually, there you go, the Robo facility. You know, it's against, you know, if it's a Stargate, I'd say obviously Viking's great. If it's a Robo, ideally just a, typically just a Liberator is fantastic, right? Just get across and try and siege up for a few probe kills. Just try and get some damage done in that regard. Tech lab is building here for Raddox. Again, that ready to go. A couple of Reapers fire, and the Stalker taking some hits. And this Reaper's still just hunting around to try and perhaps get something in the next couple moments. Hasn't been able to find anything just yet, however, so that's a little bit unfortunate. Just moving around here from Braddock, so still setting up with those. And we just do see the Banshee, Cloak, Siege Tank, all of this setting up now. As our Cyclone gets a lock on, and the Stalker's going to get pushed back a little bit. Prism about to pop, Gateway on the way over on the right-hand side, and again, Reaper and a Cyclone just hanging out. Forward's going to be able to lock on and push the Stalker away for a moment or two, and we're going to continue forwards. Again, still the Reaper, the Cyclone, being chased here through the middle of the map as the Banshee on the way from Braddock. Now Stalkers just continue all the way down to the bottom left. There's a Siege Tank with Siege. You get really kind of in a little bit of trouble as Braddock after this proxy opener. The Warp Prism pressure can get so much done, and this tank is already dropping down. Good play on the Warp Prism, lifting those Stalkers up. Very good micro from Kugra, and now this counter is looking really dangerous. Banshee about to pop, but it's cloakless. Sorry, no, it's not cloakless. There's cloak available. So coming in, no Observer yet here, and okay, Observer is about to show. Banshee needs a cloak sooner rather than later. And we are going to see these Stalkers now going to get the Banshee kill too. Braddock's in some real trouble here. Across the map, the Banshee had to pick away through the energy of the shield battery first, so didn't do too much. And now these Stalkers are getting the command center to push back into the main. So Kugra on a great counterattack for the Robo Facility opener here against that Proxy Rax play. That's why this Robo opener is great. Just the Warp Prism, the Gateway units. It's so difficult to hold this off. It's really, really tough. There's now Blink in the main base on the Twilight Council. Couple of probes going down as the Banshee's coming in here and able to, again, put on some more pressure. A couple of workers going down. Those few Stalkers of Kugra just out down on the low ground. As the Robo Bay from Kugra sets up in the main base as well. So again, that up and running. Third Nexus is about halfway done. And this Marine finishes up too. So Braddock, Marine pops out, and this Siege Tank from Braddock setting up on the natural. The Combat Shield upgrade from Braddock will start. Again, away we go in. This is the Banshee picking its way through the pylon. So, pylon taking quite a few hits. The couple Stalkers coming over, and the Stalkers are going to come in, and they will get the Banshee kill. Banshee drops down as our 6 Stalkers will sit between the natural and the third base. Blink is about halfway done here. A couple of forges, Robobay, all building up. Observer will siege just outside of range here. But Braddock is really in trouble. 15 workers is more than you tend to be down at this stage of the TVP. The 17, 18 probe work, 8 to difference, that's really crazy. And then from there, the cross players going into double forge and all sorts. It feels like it's only getting tougher for Braddock over the next little while. He's getting combat shield, which means the forced impact. We've said this a couple times today, actually. It's happened a few times. We're probably going to get a bit of a push going, right? Combat shield, marines and tanks, medevac support, and go across the map and try and do something with an attack. But with Blink up, charge on the way, it feels like before any attack hits, right? Because the attack's not moving already. So if an attack does come, charge will probably be finished around the time it reaches there, or around the time a fight happens. There's going to be a Colossus out. I don't see it happening for Braddock. Braddock just starts up Stimpack, but I mean, he's in a tough spot. I don't mind the idea of him going across to try and do something, because it feels like you should at least try, because you're in a very weak position where if you just sit back and wait, it's not getting any better for you. Realistically, your Protoss opponent is on 3 bases, up 20 workers now, so that's only increasing as well as they have a base, on top of you. Stalkers will blink to the low ground. They're going for the siege tank as the medevac. Force field's really good here. We'll get one of the medevac kills, but loses a Stalker in a sentry. Maybe didn't need to lose that much. As he continues to fight, loses another Stalker. Now the Colossus showing up. Kugra needs to be careful. I feel like he's losing a lot more units than he needs to. Disruptor will start to build. He's got a Colossus. As Marines make their way up here, it feels like they should have been really good for Cougar, but actually maybe in some trouble now. Colossus has to micro. He needs to get rid of this siege tank on the low ground. However, he also needs to get rid of these Marines on the high ground. Colossus trying to fight, but there's another tank coming in. Is Braddock really going to do this with the counter-attack? It looks like he might. As we do see a couple of pylons going down, shield batteries that we're trying to build being denied, and well, Cougar recalls his probes away from that natural to the third base. Here you go, he's going to go for this again. Tanks on the low ground are unsieged, so it's the perfect moment to go for it. We're going to be seeing the Marines being picked away at the tanks on the side. The Stalker, this perfect time to go for this Cougar. He sees those tanks, he needs to blink on top of them. He can't let them do too much more damage. The Colossus falls. Disruptor is done, waiting for a moment to strike. It can kill that siege tank. It is low, that siege tank, and it should kill that siege tank. That should be its target here. That should absolutely be its goal, as we see Marines still being picked off. This tank now reinforcing in a weird position. The extra Stalker warping on the right helped so much here. There's the Disruptor on the tank. There's the dead medevac, and there's finally the cleanup. And well, in the end, Cougar survives this, and he's building a 4th base already as well. Maybe a bit eager considering the fact he only just held. He's got a Dark Shrine. He's building Shadow Stride. We've not even seen a Dark Templar on the map just yet. So straight into the Blink DT play. As Cougar through the center of the map, heading down through the middle, seeing where he can get to. So still moving down, a group of Stalkers here on the left will push their way towards this command center. A few Marines from Braddock gathering up. On the right side, this Warp Prism sets up as well. We're going to be moving towards the main here shortly. DT warps in, and +1 attack upgrade about to finish on the engineering bay. Warp Prism flies overhead and is going to go in towards the SCVs here, so he's going to be able to get some damage done, and Braddock is out on the low ground. At the same time, Stalkers want to try and press in towards this base. DT comes in, doesn't quite get the first tank, he will get there in the end. Mid SCV is down the main, and DT in this main base too, not near a turret, so it's actually getting quite a bit done. Siege tank in the main goes down, and well, some probes across the map as a drop comes into play. Disruptor shot lands perfectly. Only 3 Marines getting out of there, and meanwhile, the damage continues across the map. SCVs are going down on the left side. The tanks have just been picked away all over the place. I mean, you're having to scan so much just to get rid of DTs. It's really becoming a problem. There's only 1 tank here. You could actually, again, blink on top of that. There's been a couple times where Cougar maybe could have blinked on top of some of these tanks, but he's just not quite realized it. Oh my god, the cannon survives on 1 hit from death. Gets the last Marine, gets the medevac as well. You actually can't make some of this up. It's getting a little bit ridiculous, honestly. Dark Templar out over the right side. +2 attack, +2 armor on the way. Those two upgrades still rolling. It's going to be a huge upgrade lead from Kugler. And his position in the game only improves as it looks as though the 3D clan are going to be setting this up together. Stalker's back over the right, and going to be gathering up right now. Robot facility from Kugler on the way out, and +2 attack and armor. It's going to be finishing soon as well, as we do see the cannon getting a couple shots off on the Viking. Marines and tanks from Braddock up to the top side. It's going to be moving all the way up here as the Stalker hanging out in position. Viking does get shot down, and I mean, he did get a couple probes, but we're talking about what, almost double the worker count here from Kugler. He's more than double the upgrades as GT is already warping in, as there's something of a defense against us. Remember, they've got blink now, so they can actually blink down to the siege tank if they get scanned. They'll just blink down to the tanks anyway. That's actually a beautiful move. Blinks to kill the low ground tanks. I actually love it. What a play. I mean, that blink DT usage is actually so fun when you get it up and running safely. Colossus pops out, and well, these Marines can obviously lift and leave, but you need damage. You really need damage. I mean, Braddock tries to drop on the bottom side at the same time, so he's really trying to pull Kugler apart here. That's his plan. A few more probes going down. Stalker comes in. There's just so many DTs. The scan can't actually allow you, the scan just doesn't, you don't even kill the DTs before the scan's done. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Like, there's a scan there. There's so many. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Too many words in my mouth. Almost as many words as there is DTs. But just swiping down Terran units, and just look as though 3D clan are going to tie up this series probably. That's another couple Marines swiped off over there. I know that the scan just doesn't have the damage output. Braddock types GG. He'll go 1-1 today as Kugler will take that important map too and ties it up for the 3D clan. So making a fight out of this. GG's. Well played. And we're going to have some interesting matches up next, actually, guys, because we're going to be having Cass versus Creed in the TVT. That's going to be going on for game number 3. What we are going to do is throw us to a quick little 3-minute break. I do implore you in the 3-minute break, check out the Matcherino page. It's super easy. You type in !Matcherino. You go to that page, you click contribute, and you type in WTLS9. Gives you $50 to add for free. If you do that, there's also the free clickable links down the right side of the page. There's some as simple as following me on Twitter. You follow me on Twitter, you add 25 cents to the prize pool. So go check that out. And we are going to be back in a little while, a couple of minutes, 3 minutes while we set up into our next series, Cass versus Creed. Ready to return. Welcome back, guys, as we get ready to jump into this game 3 here. We're tied up 1-1 between 3D Clan and Starcom. As we get this ready to begin in a couple of moments. Simulacrum is going to be our map. So, Simulacrum, our map here, as we start this off in a moment. Sorry, just fixing something on my audio board. Let's jump in and see what happens. Cass versus Creed. And we start in the top left-hand side, our blue Terran player. Give it up if you're cheering on Cass. The bottom right-hand side, our red Terran player is Creed. Game 3 of this best of 7. Again, like I said, this could really be a scrap at the bottom of the table that really could determine, you know, a possibility of these teams advancing. They come in as the lower seeds of this group, and as they come in as the lower seeds, they absolutely become the team which, well, they both become the teams where if you win, you know, you win this match between each other, then you just need one more match elsewhere in the group, and maybe you can make something happen. So, obviously, if you lose this match, it's going to be really hard to pick up two more matches elsewhere in the group when you're the lower seeds, right? So, this is kind of make or break already for these teams in Week 2. We saw them both kind of just having troubles in Week 1. Team LP 5-1 against Starcom. You know, Vanya picked up a map against QZ DDB, which is the weakest player Team LP set out. And then in week number 2, the only kind of good part for 3D when week number 1 was against Fantastic 5. B went huge. He took down Harstam and Laser, and that's impressive. But we've already seen today B falling down against Braddock, so already kind of having some trouble here, loses his undefeated record, meaning that the players that have played in week 1 and 2 so far, the only player with an undefeated record would be Patience. As you see, the Reapers coming up then, getting set to go. Factory dropping down from Creed in the main base as he does go for the double gas opener. Cass expands a little bit faster, is not on that second gas yet, which means a later factory for him. But Creed is not mining fully on gas, so he will expand here shortly. Just wants that factory up that little bit faster to get that set up and to get that rolling. So that's kind of the plan so far. As the Reaper from Creed going to be popping out and go and chase down this Reaper over here. And Factory getting a Hellion on the way as well. So getting this set up and ready to go as we do have the Command Center dropping down onto the natural expansion. So got a little build up at the moment. 2 Reapers and the Hellion together will move into the middle of the map, and Creed isn't necessarily like in a massive need to deal damage. Like, yeah, he might be a work or 2 behind, but he does have a slight advantage elsewhere at the same time, right? So the 2 Reapers and a Hellion up the left here. Try and see what's going on. Starport is going to complete as our Hellion pops out, and we'll be moving down to the low ground, out onto the map, and again, a few Reapers and a Hellion just out to the left here. Raven on the way up in the main, couple more Marines coming out, and the Liberator from Creed will be dropping into the main as well. So a little bit of setup. We actually see the start of a fight over here. Cass kind of losing a couple units early. Nice macro back there by Creed. Can he still keep this Hellion alive? I mean, Cass trying to keep his Hellion alive, but it means there's nothing defending the front. So there's some SCVs ripe for the picking if Creed makes the dive in. This could be the couple of workers he's looking for to kind of bring this back even out in the game. He's going to get that Hellion. Now a couple of Marines going to get bopped away as well. However, Cyclone's about to be here, right? And so Marines are just trying to buy time. We'd rather lose Marines than lose SCVs, basically, is the idea. So at this point, I think you just commit up the ramp and you try and get that low health SCV. You don't get it though as Creed, and that's got to hurt. Only 1 worker actually killed there in the end. as we set this up. Another tank coming out. As we get ready to go. So Liberator up the right-hand side, and Command Center dropping into the main base as well, getting that ready to roll. There's Viking out down the bottom on a little bit of an adventure too, so now move around there. A couple of tech labs will drop from Creed in the main. You're going to see the factory finishing up a siege tank, and again, this group of units gathering out the front. Liberator hanging out on the top, and Viking into the middle. Just seeing what's going on. So a couple of supply depots will drop down from Creed here. Again, getting those set up in the back, and Marines, tanks, we will head towards the upper left. Try and push in towards this natural. I like what's going on here so far. Feels pretty decent as our Viking Marines and tanks continue to press forwards. SCV to the side is going to get picked up as well. And the two tanks here are looking to set up as well. Liberator into the main base. I mean, it really is Creed that's just on the aggression, right? Keeping his opponent busy, keeping his opponent distracted. Then a Liberator shows up and boom, gets some kills. Cyclone will get a lock on and is in a good position to chase. Will get that kill. So at least we'll clean out the Liberator. Creed's going to give up this position. He leaves the Vikings here, kind of, you know, they're safe for the moment. He keeps an eye on anything moving out as his units get back home. Really like what Creed's done here. He's opened up an army supply lead. He's got his own 3rd CC coming up. It's a little later than Caster's, but, you know, it's not that much behind. He's a couple workers ahead as well anyways. The ideas are all there, right? You know, Stimpack combat shields. One difference is +1 only from Creed and 1/1 together for Cass. And also, Creed's double tech lab, so he's got a Stim and combat shield same time versus just Stimpack from Cass. That means Cass is going to be later on combat shield, but will have more marine production. He's pumping out one more marine at a time because he has double reactor instead of 1 reactor, 2 tech lab. So slight marine income advantage almost, if you want to call it like a marine slight marine production advantage for Cass. And obviously if you get away with the later combat shields, which I don't think is going to be punished here, Cass has got the better setup to continue, because then at some point these barracks are meant to move to a reactor as well. Like, you don't want to keep these 2 racks and tech labs because they just don't do very much. Unless you're playing against mech and you actually want to make Marauders, there is no reason to make Marauders in TVT. In other matchups, Marauders can be a nice little addition to kind of tanking, etc. The problem is in TVT, Marauders don't really tank. They just get annihilated by Marines. Their DPS is so low in comparison. And in TVT, the whole idea is breaking down the Marine line of your opponent to then break down the tanks. And you just don't really gain much from having Marauders tanking, because the tanks just blow them up anyways in the splash damage. So it really is, that's why Marine tank on Marine tank is one of the main ways to go. It's one of the biggest mistakes, I think, down in like Platinum to Diamond League that Terrans make in TVT is making Marauders and Marine tank versus Marine tank, because it does nothing for you. This is amazing. Interference Matrix is going to have to be huge. He'll target down or try to target down one of the Ravens. All of those tanks do get Matrix, and that is actually massive because it actually allows Cass to clean this up. One more upgrade's done for Cass as well, so it's a bit of an anti-timing for Creed. This seemed like an amazing idea for Creed, but man, Cass responded perfectly. The 2 Ravens getting all the Matrixes. Obviously the upgrades were at a good time as well. It's pretty crazy. You do see this Marine on the lower left chasing those medevacs away. Is medevacs being chased away here? +2 attack, +1 armor from Creed. Still just kind of squeeze on out. And medevac getting shot down by the Cyclone lock-on. Some good stuff as well. As our factory and 2 more barracks will drop down. Getting that built up here. We see a bit of a fight happening as a couple tanks in the front are just going to get blown up. These Marines now trying to retreat away. The Marines trying to press forward, so Cass on the chase, and Cass has turned this around. Creed really put himself in a good position for just a couple of moves that were just a bit too cute and not really well executed and put him into trouble here. And now this Marine Viking force is picking its way through this orbital command. So Creed just going to be continue to pull away here for the moment as Cass is going to go into the main, so just going to jump up into this, and while he's in control of the game at the moment, the tank support on the low ground should be huge. In this scenario, we're going to see those medevacs are pretty darn low. That doesn't look like it's going to affect Cass too much as Again, he's got a couple tank siege, which means he can control this base, and now he can start setting up tanks a bit further forwards as well. He's got the Viking control here, and he should have the reach on that siege tank. Does he not? Is that really out of reach? That's so close. He actually can't reach it, but he can hit the factory and like splash onto it. Either way, I mean, more units showing up. When you're sieging the production of your opponent, it's a great scenario. The only thing Creed could do here is maybe counterattack. Because if you go across the map, what does Cass have defensively? Nothing. He's rallying units across. So it's probably the best play is probably a counterattack, but it's very tough to make work. Because obviously Cass is in a position where he's got so much. If he knows you're counterattacking, he'll commit harder to killing off your production. And there's only a couple of tanks here, and that's pretty much all that's left. So the Marines go down, Cass will break through, and Creed will, well, lose out on this one. Cass will take it to a 2-1 lead here for Starcom. Looking very good for them after 3 games, taking the lead and looking confident in some of these matches, you've got to say. Alright, so just gonna get a hold of the games number 1 to 3 replays, guys. I'm just going to figure that out, because obviously that's a slight issue, because we missed games 1 to 3 because our first series took so long. What's up, Obrellis Rex? Thank you so much for the 8-month resub. Really appreciate it. Let's get you up on the tree, shall we? Thank you so much for the 8-month resub. Much appreciated. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Alright, so Obrellis Rex, just need to get you a hanger, and we'll be able to get this going. And then we'll take a moment or two just to get these replays. We might have to, I don't like running a break after only, don't like taking a break after only 1 map, but looks like the replays are coming to me pretty quick. Obrellis Rex, there you go. As we will. Where are you gonna go? Where's missing some green? Kind of like middle center. Tell you what, there's not a branch. I'm being lazy because I can do this one sitting down, but there's not much filled up down there, so we'll get you down there. It's a nice little position to take. Alright, tree's looking good, guys. Tree's looking really good. I'm happy with it so far. As we'll be taking just again a moment or two. We won't throw a break on, but we'll obviously just have a second or two downtime waiting for these replays to receive. Awesome. How's everyone doing in the chat then? Everyone feeling good? Enjoying the games today? There you go, just got the replays coming in. Perfect. Awesome. Alright guys, just a moment or two. Again, we just got replays because what happened was our first series of the day obviously went real long. So we had to fill it a little bit. Well, okay, why is Skype doing this thing where it doesn't tell me where the replay is downloaded to? I hate it when it does this. Oh, I hate Skype in general. Where is it? Where is it? It's gonna be in somewhere really stupid, like app data, isn't it? I'm just gonna have to. Where do Skype downloads go? says it should be in here, but it's not. Why doesn't this work? It's in documents? Really? Why can't I find my stuff in Skype? I'm so confused. Oh my god. What's going on? Oh, no way. But I just don't see it where it says it should be. I'm so confused. I actually don't get it. Does anyone know how to find stuff on Skype? It doesn't make any sense. I'm so confused. I'm so confused. Guys, I'm actually just unable. I literally just... Why did they make this so difficult? Oh my god. Oh, I found it. Oh my god. Okay, yeah, sorry for that. That was a nightmare. Just casually dying over here on the stream trying to figure this out. There we go. So it turns out, you guys want to know where it was? It's in my downloads folder. Under a folder called Skype. Literally. That was from like 2 weeks ago and it went in there. That's actually a disaster. Oh my god. Alright. First up will be Cass versus B. So that's going to be map number 4 here. Sorry for that, guys. Absolute disaster. So, thank you so much. First of all, as we get this game ready to go between Cass and B, I'm going to start counting this down. Fazik, thank you so much for the 2-year resub. Can we get some love in the chat for the 2-year resub on the Twitch Prime? Guys, we are at like... We are approaching putting the decoration on the top of the tree. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for the 2-year resub. Much appreciated, dude. Let me get you on the tree, and then we're going to kick off this game between Cass and B. Game 4 of our series. Thank you so much. As we... You know what? Well, the game's started. I'm going to very quickly put you on the tree so you can see where you're going. I'll put you up here. There you go. Benefits of getting put on the tree quickly. You get a good spot. Alrighty. It is 2-1 to Starcom. Cass just helping to take that lead for his team. He's going to be out here again playing B for the second time of this series. Well, B coming out for the second time this series. It's not the second time he's played Cass. We saw B with some issues playing against Braddock. Took a lot of early game damage and really struggled to see B getting back into the game. We'll see what happens here with Cass. As we do have to the top right hand side, our blue Terran player is Cass. B, red Protoss, red Zerg in the bottom left-hand side from 3D Clan. We start off on Eternal Empire here for this game. So we've got Cass versus B, Vanya versus Bassett, and Modius versus Bassett as our remaining maps of this series. And then, of course, if it goes to 3-3, we go to an ace match. So that's what's happening as we do see our command center setting up here from Cass in the natural. And our early game will just be expansion focus, getting this ready to go. And getting this set to roll. So we'll continue to move around and just obviously seeing a little bit of what's going on. Command center will drop down in the natural here as we finally get that expansion going. Link speed coming in, Reaper getting started, and obviously just kind of having some fun with the Zerglings, just trying to harass around a little bit here already, trying to put some damage out there on the board. Again, just having a fun little time here in the early few minutes. Frenil drop down, and Zergling is still trying to chase the Reaper around. So we do have the Reaper being chased away out over to the third. So again, just picking up a little bit of information early. We'll see that pneumatized carapace on the way up now on the main base. So getting that pneumatized carapace up and running. See Queen's able to put some damage onto the Hellions. It's going to be a fusion core here now from Cass. Again, that fusion core up and running as well as a couple of drones going down. That Reaper picking its way through the third hatchery here as Queen will start up on it. Zerglings from B wandering over. I'm going to go straight after that Hellion, which will... it goes down pretty quick, doesn't it? So Hellion gets denied. 7 more drones, couple Queens. All of that building up. Our fusion core finishes then, and our battlecruiser will start. We've seen... I mean, I don't know if you guys were watching earlier. We casted Maru, played 2 TVZs back-to-back, and he played every game apart from one of battlecruiser opening. And I feel like every TVZ I've seen since then as well has been battlecruiser opening. So, like, just so many TVZs with battlecruiser openers a day. It's crazy. It's almost like we're at the beginning of the year when everyone went battlecruiser every game. It's I had this rant a little bit earlier. It's been such a weird build because it's been in and out of fashion day in and day out. It's been really crazy. And I guess really kind of perplexed me to some extent, actually. We do see Hellions out into the center, and we do have a weapon refit upgrade coming in on the fusion core. Hellions down the bottom side, and a 4th hatchery from B will start up. So setting that up over there, the lair about to complete. And you have the command center is at the front as well, so it's going to leave that across the front. The Hellions still moving around the bottom. BC teleports across and looking for some early damage. And B didn't really have fun against the initial Hellbat and kind of BC timing when he played against Braddock earlier. Now he's going to have... Well, it's kind of all the Hellbats initially, right? Did a lot of damage to the Hellions. The BC came a bit later. 4 drones down to start this. The Hellions trying to poke at the front. Don't do much towards that forward hatchery. 6 drones now killed. The Hellions going to go diving into the natural. Now they are going to find 2 more drones. And the Zergling's getting a pretty good surround to shut down the majority of this. So that's 9 workers killed here. Weapon refit is just over halfway done. Still taking along the 2 extra factories from Cass in the main base. All those Zerglings heading up to the top side of the map. A couple of armories on the way down as well. So a couple of armories coming into play. This orbital continues over to the third location. And those Hellions are able to pick up a Zergling. So a bunch of Lings going down right now. Good damage being dealt as other Lings coming in as well. But in general, these Hellions continuing to kind of pick this off. Doing a very, very good job of this right now. As we do see our Spire from B finishing on up, and our weapon refit about to finish on the fusion core too. You see it goes straight in towards the overlord, so we'll be able to pick that off as well. And 8 Mutalisks on the way out. Continue to get going. Picks off the Queen with the battle cruiser, and just going to be seeing the BC of Cass teleporting all the way back home. Now I see the Spire up. I mean, typically this is meant to be Corruptors right now, but it's not. It's going to be Mutalisks. As you do see B moving forwards, and we're going to see where he can go. And pull back for a moment because actually we've got some Hellions in the mineral line though, so causing some issue. So 5 drones killed off. We see that BC from Cass just back into the natural. So a couple of them gathered up together. The Mutants are going to fly in and go after an SCV. So SCV picked off right away there. There's going to be a couple, 3, 4. Now some mules going down as well. BC teleports into the 3rd base. It's going to get pushed around, and another BC from the main working its way over as well. Going to go straight in after those Mutalisks. It's a nice Yamato to go snipe straight away and mute it down. This is the thing. I just never really see Mutants doing much when these BCs are at home defending, right? This happens once or twice. The Terran makes a mistake, they mess up, they get drawn too thinly, but I just don't really see it happening yet, you know? Just don't see how they're gonna make it work, because these Mutants are gonna go back into the 3rd. Infernal Pre-Igniter finishes, and again the Cyclone, the Thor. That'll pop out as well as that BC's up to the top side. There is a 5th hatchery on the way from B. So getting that ready to go. Those Mutalisks back up towards the top side again. The battle cruiser's coming over. They're going to try and go towards this group of Mutas here, so looking to try and deal some damage. There is that Magfield Accelerator, so that's coming up right now. The +1 vehicle weapons will finish soon, and again our BCs will continue their way along for the moment. Planetary Fortress will start up as we see our middle is going to fly in towards this base. I mean, VCs can teleport in here, right? So they're going to get maybe a couple of shots off. Doesn't kill anything, but he lines up Yamatos. There's 2 Mutalisks going down. Boom. It's actually crazy how far they reach. Once they fire, you know. As we do see the smart servos coming up. Magfield Accelerator. This mech play continues to stretch out across Eternal Empire. This map really is the map that's going to start giving us some very cool macro games. Because not only is it going to give us macro games in the sense that, you know, not only is it going to give us macro games where it's like, oh my god, you know, we get to macro around a little bit, we get to play. It's also kind of a very cool middle of the map, so it really stretches you out. So you've really got to, you know, play hard to make it work. really got to play hard to make it work, as you're going to see a few corrosive bars dropping down. And those battle cruisers for the moment were able to escape away out of trouble. What's coming up? Missile turret shot down. I'm still just seeing B pressing into the center. Really wants to try and break down that planetary fortress, but as the Cyclone Core army comes in, the Ravagers will be pushed away, and it just feels like B is not really achieving much, although he's still maxed out, so can definitely try and keep trading. But could really do with just an extra 10 drones or so, right? Get up to like 81 workers and make something happen from there. Kind of like that a little bit more, as space does go down, the units are going to turn back out onto the map. Of corrosive bars landing. There's 7 corruptors in the production tab, plus 1 flyer carapace, plus 2 missile upgrades, 10 more corruptors. The battle cruiser count is getting out of hand, right? And especially with the support of a couple of Thors, it makes it very difficult to, it makes it very difficult to just shoot those BCs down with corruptors. So you need to get a few more corruptors out. And I say, these corruptors are still the answer. But you need to make sure you've got enough of them. As here we go, BCs flying around. Doesn't line up any Yamatos. He does have Yamatos available. He's just going to fire for the moment. Now he's going to go Yamato a couple. Let's get a couple of kills. Obviously getting towards time to teleport out. He still has some Yamatos available as well. So he should be teleporting here in a moment. Gets rid of the first BC. No problems at all. Gets it out of there. Across the map, the Roach Ravager force comes in though. There's no kind of tank backline to this. So it's maybe one of the issues Cass is having. This is always just cycles that feel like they always have to kite against it. Gonna try and get this command center. If you can cancel this, I mean, great, but oh my god, it's gonna get piled down. It will be killed. So that base will fall. Cass is re-expanded to the high ground as well, and also down here once more, so immediately back on it. So Cass is being, denied economy, but at the same time, it's not like B has crazy eco. Then B is down like 25 supply, giving up a lot of units, and you can see the resources lost. Doesn't matter if you're on 3 bases, if you're trading 10,000 resources better than your opponent, B is just bleeding units right now. And 3D Clan Play, who was the player to kind of hope on last week, as he took down a lazy, he took down Harston. This week, it really feels like he's in some trouble. Already lost out to Braddock today. It looks like now he might be beginning the loss against Cass, which is unfortunate. We do see Roaches, Ravagers pressing in. A couple of Hellions getting picked off. That Cyclone gets taken down as well. You see the battle cruiser is able to shoot down an Overlord, so Overlord gets picked off, as we will be seeing the Cyclones still just getting set up. Plus 3 vehicle plating from Cass, plus 1 ship weapons. As our BCs make their way down the left side, and they're going to be able to pick off a couple of creep tumors. So a couple of creep tumors going down, which is Ravagers. Well, they're going to go down pretty quickly as well. They'll turn in Yamato here. As soon as the Yamato's the corrosive biles, it's a great play. He was just waiting for the right moment to drop those biles, and he gets it, right? I mean, it's the perfect moment. He's now going to see another couple of biles, and that's going to be another battle cruiser dead. BCs teleport back up to the top side, and SCV is going to go for the repair on those BCs. But it was nice. I mean, B was able to get rid of a couple of them, and for the first time, it really felt like B was kind of controlling there a little bit as he takes this base over here. Has another Rich Vespine, by the way. This is a Rich Vespine here too, almost mined out. Cass has obviously had this base denied a little bit, so his Rich Vespine is still rocking. Aliens on the high ground are going to try and get some drones, and it's a good position. It's always going to be the problem with that low ground base. That high ground position is actually quite easy to run around to. So you're going to have to be very, very on top of making sure units don't get there, because it's going to be so frustrating to deal with time and time again. Ravagers back out into the center. Cyclones coming to the center as well. Those are going to be seen while instantly an Overseer found, picked off. Cyclone gets picked off as the corrosive biles drop down. We're going to be seeing the Cyclone army having to pull away once again, locking onto this Roach, and the Ravagers quite a bit done. Over here, the caustic spray from the Corruptors working their way through that orbital command, which will lift up, and actually is going to burn down. Didn't get the repair from the SCVs. Meanwhile, Hellions get 11 more drones. It's a big push forwards here from B. But we're going to be seeing, you can just, see what Cass's plan was, right? Get in there and intercept. but not able to follow up. Too many units, and Cyclones have to back away a little bit. Finally, these Hellions will go down. Look at B's economy, 44 to 88 workers. He is half the work count of our Terran player here. And you can just see it in the bank already. Cast 1,500 minerals and gas. He has the right amount of income. He's got a bank to rebuild off of, and B's just not going to be able to stay in this. So the next couple of fights from B are kind of do or die in a big way. He has to get ridiculous amounts of damage done. Otherwise, he's just, this game probably ends because he's not going to be able to replace what he's got. I mean, right now, these BCs are taking so long to go down, it doesn't really look like much interest is going to happen in B's favor. The Corruptors get killed off by the Yamatos, and now, I mean, Queen drops a transfusion, a very hopeful transfusion, I might add. Cass is looking to take Starcom up 3-1 in this best of 7. Put them on the verge of winning that first series of the league. As we see our Cyclones pressing in, that's going to be a Planetary Fortress ripped down. So just Roach Ravager pressing in here, a couple of SCVs getting picked off. And we are going to be seeing the Roach Ravager still kind of fighting around here, so the SCVs did go down, sure, but like I've been saying, it doesn't really matter. You've got so much here as Cass. You've already got a bank, you've already got the worker advantage. As long as you're cleaning up this army and you're still able to produce units, there's pretty much no way you come out on the losing end of these trades. B. Second game against a meching Terran today, a bit unfortunate maybe on the draw. Looked so good against a laser and so good against Hossam last week. This really was a bit unfortunate, so sadly just not a composition he's as good against, because it really felt like in these games he didn't really have much of a chance to show himself, you know? I really felt as though it was Cass in control and Braddock in control from the earlier stages. Now Cass, by the way, building 2 battle cruisers at the time, probably has a starport elsewhere as well that can build extra ones. Even has a Karak in his main base. Cass just collecting the critters as the Cyclones back into the center here. See where they can go. See what they can do. Cyclones down this right-hand side. We're going to get a lock on to an Extractor. The Spore Crawler going to get picked off as well. Doing a very good job of this. +2 ship weapons, +2 vehicle plating. Vehicle weapons finishing up, and it's again just upgrades. Probe just trying to caustic spray down a base, which obviously if SCVs repaired a bit sooner might have survived, because missile turrets are kind of working their way through the Armado, through the Corruptors. I mean, you lose the planetary, you replace it with an orbital, whatever. Again, bases are not a problem for Cass here. Well, they're cute moves from B. They're not the wrong moves from B, they're absolutely the moves he should be trying to make, but it's just hard to get excited about them because he needs to make so many more of them to really get back in the game still. You know, he's still just that far behind. I mean, the Cyclones right now, for God's sake, are moving into the middle of the map and looking truly competitive against this entire Zerg army. That's the kind of position we're currently in. Cyclones continue to pick up what they can. This hatchery will go down, pulling back away from the Roach Ravager. Over on the left side, Yamato's going up again. A bunch more Corruptors going down. These BCs are just going to clean up everything. GG well played says B. And Cass will take it to a lead for Starcom. 3-1 as well, so really looking, they just need one map against, I mean, Bassett is the next player from 3D Clan in the next 2 rounds. So the next 2 games we'll see will be kind of arguably one of the Rika players from Starcom coming out to try and fight, so it's not exactly looking good in the world of 3D Clan right now. Looking really good for Starcom to perhaps pick up the matchup here today. We're going to take a quick little break. When we come back, it's going to be map number 5 of this best of 7, guys. Remember that all 6 maps are played, the 6 determined maps or predetermined maps are played no matter what. So even if this goes 4-1, we still play map number 6 as well. So that is still to come. We'll be back with that, like I said, in a couple of moments' time. We're just going to take the commercial break, which of course supports the stream. You have great things to do while you're watching the stream today in the break. Match Reno page. You know what? I'm just going to leave it at that. Never mind great things. Great thing to do. There are 900 people in here. We have 200 coupon codes max. About 50 of them have been used. We can use those coupon codes, guys. Get to the Match Reno page. Use that coupon code. Let's raise some money for the Wardy TV Team League Season 9. The faster we use up these coupon codes, the faster we unlock more. It's as simple as that. Guys, we're back after this break. 3 minutes, and it's game number 5. Game number 5, Starcom versus the 3D clan. Let's jump into some ZVZ, shall we? As we jump into Vanya versus Bassett. Vanya, if he wins this, will close out the series for the 3D for Starcom. They're up 3-1 in the bottom right, and he opens 12 pool. As in the top left, our blue Zerg is Bassett. Needs to win this to keep 3D clan competitive. Remember, we'll play game number 6 no matter what, guys. There is a $10 prize for each of these maps, so each day a team can go away with $70 because there's a $10 prize for each map, and also a $10 prize for winning the series. There's no prize for the ace match, so basically, if you win before the ace match, you get the $10. If it goes to an ace match, the ace match is worth $10, is the idea. So, each series, $70 is given out. Which is, you know, pretty decent money if you ask me. It's not bad, right? Like, I get it, like, it's a few different players showing up and so on, but it's pretty fun, right? You show up, you play like a best of one, you get $10, like, yeah, you can't complain too much. So obviously pool 12 pool from Vanya. He is going to expand behind it as Hatchery will drop down. We have got the few Zerglings moving up to the top left hand side. What's up, Face Starcraft saying coupon used? Thank you so much. You're one of the heroes the world needs. Thank you for using up those Match Arena coupons, everybody. $226 on the Match Arena page. We've got a long way to go, but we've got a season ahead of us still. So go and check that out if you have a chance. Let's go and jump onto the hatchery. You see a few things on the way from Bassett, obviously. Vanya actually brought a drone, so he's going to build a spine crawler here, which could make it interesting. Drones will pull. Took a little while, and that's not a lot of drones. There's the rest of them. Oh, Vanya's putting good damage out here. This hatchery is taking more damage. This is the point where I think you actually just dive on the hatchery. I don't think you need to go for the drones when you've got the hatchery this low, because you can kind of just move your way around the hatch, right? I think he's going to commit the Lings to get the hatch kill, and he will, and then he'll try and run away with whatever he can keep so he doesn't have to make too many Lings back at home to defend the counterattack. Spine Crawler cancelled, and Vanya gets a hatch kill, and that's an amazing play off of a 12 pool, because now you're a hatchery ahead, and obviously, yes, you're a couple drones behind, but your opponent has to reinvest 300 minerals. That's 6 drones, so essentially that's 6 drones they're going to be down at some stage. Lings continuing down the bottom right. As you do see a couple of queens on the way up, getting going. Spine Crawler defensively, because Vanya knows I think he's in a decent spot. That is 100 minerals and a drone he invests, so it's kind of a lot. Link speed on the way is the one advantage Bassett will have here as well, so we'll have that little bit of speed up. Good scout from Vanya. Sees gas mining, sees the link speed coming in, so he knows what he's playing against here as well. It's just picking up some information with that Zergling, and that's obviously nice. These Lings actually from Bassett get into the main base. Queen going to be fighting here, and the Link's taking a little bit of damage. The spine there is going to be able to get some damage done. 5 drones on the way up. There's a couple of extractors dropping into the natural expansion too. The Lings back out into the center. Queen on the way in the main. Third hatchery from Bassett. He's actually recovered from this pretty okay, but you can see the work difference. I mean, this is like 6 drones he's invested here that, you know, at some point Vanya will invest into as well. Obviously, you can take a faster third hatch than Vanya because he's got link speed, so he's got map control here in the early stages. As you can see, our Ling is out over the left-hand side. So, drones kind of getting to mine here from Vanya. So he'll have a bit of an income lead. Looks like he was kind of thinking of taking a drone down towards the third base. Plus one missile attack will start on the Evo Chamber. Roach Roaring finishing, so obviously he's just going straight at Roaches. Bassett's got a similar idea as the plus one missile gets going. So gets that started up, and the third hatch from Bassett getting started up as well. Lair on the way in the main. And we're just going to be seeing the third hatchery starting from Vanya. So pretty typical kind of like, you know, because it's 12 pool, it's gasless. It's a pretty typical kind of gasless follow-up here from the 12 pool. It's not one of those 12 pools where you go into just a bunch of like ling speed and kind of lings to kind of continue from there or anything like that. So we do have the Queens gathered up at the front, Spinecrawler and Roaches nearby as well, and plus one missiles starting on either side of the map. So yeah, so far so good as far as Vanya's concerned. I think he's getting up into his Roaches. He's going to go aggressive though, because he's not building a so he's got a lair, but he's not building roach speed. I got thrown by that actually. I know the lair was there, but then not seeing the roach speed confused me. So he is going to go roach speed, but he's building a lot of roaches. I mean, it's at that point where the third hatch isn't ready, so you don't really gain anything from building more drones because it would be oversaturating. You know, a slight income increase. So you kind of build roaches up until now, and you know, usually you kind of push across the map with roach speed and +1, and then you start to build drones again. The timings are a little bit off here. You know, +1's going to finish in 20 seconds. Roach speed will be in like 40 to 50. So we'll have to get that figured out as these Zerglings of Bassett come around to the left-hand side, coming around to the bottom. And a couple extra drones just on the way in. 10 more roaches being produced here as we do have Bassett is into the center. Vanya moving up into the middle of the map right now, so 10 roaches out into the middle. We seem to have some Zerglings just kind of hanging out over to the left-hand side as well. Those are just chilling out as Ravager's coming in. Roach speed about to complete on both sides of this. Those Lings of Bassett still just hanging out here. The Roaches, though, arriving from Vanya, going to start on the third base. +1's done on either side. The Lings from Bassett will help a lot right now, actually. As they run forwards, they're going to start getting a little bit of a surround. Those of Battle's actually hurting Bassett more than they're helping, really. Yeah, the Lings were like the one thing that was actually going to be going really well there. Now, he's maybe in a little bit of trouble. Vanya has invested into +2. He's building drones as well. So behind this, Vanya's kind of put on pressure while getting into a really good spot to kind of follow up later in the game. It picks up a Queen. I mean, trades like this are great for Vanya, so it's not really cost him anything. Putting him into a good spot here overall. And this Roach is just picking up a few more Lings, and the Roach Ravager army of Bassett going to continue to give chase down through to the center of the map. +2 missile attack on that Evo Chamber then, as our Roaches will still gather together. A few Overlords on the way up here from Vanya, so getting those up and running. As we do see the Ravagers are going to be finishing in a few moments' time. Vanya's Roaches around the left. Looking to see what they can do as, again, a few more Overlords coming up. Roaches on the way out. Extractor drops down from Bassett in the third base as well. This Ravager's just going to go and pick away at this Overlord. So Overlord taking some hits. Again, +2 missile attack upgrade coming in right now. Both of those Ravagers setting up at the moment. Unitized Carapace, not far from finishing here. It's going to be finished up shortly. +2 missile attack as well from Bassett. I mean, you've got to try and make something happen, right? You've got to get out here and try and take a fight or something, because you're behind on +2. I mean, I say take a fight, but then again, you're about to be behind on +2, so maybe not. Maybe you've got to defend. One of the things Several is great at, right? Just getting into a bad position like this, and then all of a sudden you defend in an amazing way, and you turn the fight around. There's +2 from Vanya, and that's going to make the difference here. I don't think Bassett has got what it takes to really switch this up too much. You can see the Roaches and the Ravagers from Vanya looking very, very good. Couple throws of bars dropping down, even just hitting Bassett's own Overlords, and well, Vanya does overrun in the center of the map again, pressing forwards. Another Ravager goes down, these Roaches are falling, and Vanya is going to close this series out for Starcom in their favor, guaranteed. Next question will become whether they can pick up an extra $10 for winning that final map of the day. And that will be our next question, because that is up next. It's going to be Vanya versus Bassett. StarCon versus 310 Decline. Game number 6. This is going to be our last game of StarCraft 2 today, guys. It's been a long day. It's been a very long day. We started streaming about 12 hours ago, and we've had a lot of casting to do, so hope you guys have been enjoying. It's certainly been an experience over here. If you have been enjoying all day long, or even just a bit of the day, do consider hitting that follow button. It helps us out a lot. And obviously, if you haven't already subscribed, consider subscribing. If you've got a Twitch Prime sub sitting around, consider dropping it on the stream. Helps us a lot as well. And help us out with all of that. So do consider helping us out in that way as we get ready to go into Modius versus Bassett. That will be the last match here. That's why I was getting a little bit confused on what I was saying, with it being, because I knew it was Bassett playing again, but it obviously isn't Vanya again. Actually only sent out Vanya once this week, which their strongest player. It's kind of a vote of confidence, right? And the other guys like, you know what? Vanya's our strongest guy. We'll just send him out once, and we'll take down the rest of the team with the other guys. It's cool to see. Countdown into game number 6 then. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Alrighty. Last game of the day. We started off today with an epic series between Trap and TY. If you haven't seen that, it's already up on my YouTube channel, so it's absolutely what I suggest you go and watch when this finishes, if you didn't watch it already. I will be starting a rerun of today's matches, probably in a little while, but not immediately. We'll obviously host somebody up and send some StarCraft love somebody's way initially instead. So Refinery drops down in this main base. Couple of drones building up here. Extractor dropping from Bassett as we see Hatch Gas Pool. It's Bassett in the bottom right. Modius in the top left put up a fight against Patience last week in a pretty fun game, honestly. A pretty fun matchup. So that was pretty great to see. As we do see the spawning pool dropping down. The Extractor building up. Here's an SCV from Modius continuing along to the lower right hand side. Tomorrow, by the way, we do this all over again. We start off tomorrow morning at 10 AM CET. There'll only be 3 best of 5s in the Korean matches tomorrow in the Korean WSG qualifier. We start 10 AM CET. Tomorrow, I think, because we'll only have 3 matches in the Korean qualifier, we'll probably come back and do the CIS qualifier for a couple matches before we start Team League. So that's probably going to be our plan, to go from kind of one way to the other and so on. Should be good. Should be some good fun. Looking forward to it. Who plays in CIS tomorrow? Let's see what we're going to be watching if we do that. Yeah, so tomorrow, basically, it starts... it starts at like an hour. It basically is a best of 5 an hour before we go live with the Team League, and that's going to be between Hours and Bly. So maybe we jump in and cast like a bit of that from WSG before we swap over to the rest of everything. Seems like a reasonable plan. As that engineering bay comes down to block this third base. So yeah, another full day tomorrow. We'll probably have a bit more downtime in the middle. Just gonna see this Reaper taking some hits. Ling's coming around. Trying to see what else is going on. So we've been moving around, and engineering bay taking some hits as well. Actually going to drop down there, and Reaper will continue to take some shots. So a few lings from Bass are going to start chasing down. So if it gets picked off, and we do have the starport finishing. So is this going to be a fusion core and a battle cruiser? Because it's been a fusion core and a battle cruiser all day long. It is going to be a fusion core and a battle cruiser, isn't it? This SCV is running far away to get the fusion core going down. There we go. Alright, so fusion core getting this started. Full of Hellions on the way out, and you see Modi is starting to move out through into the middle of the map. Zerglings around the top side, trying to see where they can get to. And the Tech Lab finishing up on the barracks shortly is getting a couple extra Hellions coming into play. Those Lings taking a chance to get on top of some SCVs, and we'll get rid of 4 workers there already. So nice little run by Bassett, gets 7 workers killed. So 7 workers picked off there as a few Hellions moving around in the center. Viking firing, and the Overlord is really taking a bit of a beating here already, so taking quite a few shots. Armory will drop down from Modius as well. The Baneling Nest from Bassett also setting up. Again, these Lings continuing to move around at the moment, so Hellions still kind of coming around into the center. There's that Banshee building up from Modius here as well. So again, that Banshee up and running. There's an armory on the way down on the natural. Hellions able to pick off the Creep Tumors. The Queen's able to turn those Hellions back away. Ooh, we're going to see the Concussive Shell. So it's actually going to be an armory, but it's actually for Hellbat. So he actually never built... He did build the Fusion Core, but he's not making use of it. He's actually going Banshee instead. Big crazy as the Hellions diving in. 4 drones going down. See those Lings making a bit of a dive towards the Hellions as well. So they're kind of moving in towards that. The Queen's going in after the Hellions and Hellbats. They're taking a lot of damage, and this is actually a good shutdown from Bassett. Modus just loses everything before he even really gets it started. What a disaster. I mean, now he's going concussive shells and all sorts, but he's not actually going to have an army to really make this work. I'm not sure about the concussive shells anyways, because generally concussive shells is great in a scenario where you get the medevac to take the marauders across the map, but oh, what a disaster. I mean, Bane's just run into this natural mineral line, so Lings get by the wall off, the Banes are morphing in. These SCVs have no option other than to try and mine here. Okay, in the end, he's able to push the Lings away, and he might be able to stop the Banes from connecting on too much here. Banes are going to run forward, but it's going to reach, well, actually not much at all. That was like a disaster from Modius, and suddenly Bassett is able to make it turn into something. Hellions and Banshees out into the middle, and we do see Command Center from Modius dropping down in the main base. We're on the way up, and we do see a couple of drones, a few Zerglings, a couple of Queens, all of that on the way out. The 2 extra factories dropping down here as well from Modius, so getting that set up to go. As our Viking is picking its way through the Overlord. So Overlord's still taking a few shots of damage. It's going to get picked off in a moment or so. So that will go down. Again, scout on this bottom side. Going to keep track of those Queens. Banshees around to the right-hand side. And again, a few Hellions over to the left. Hellions going to pick away at the Creep Tumor, and just going to be seeing the again, a little bit of creep being picked away at. Marauder on the bottom left is picking away at that hatchery, so some damage being done as the Spire drops down from Bassett. Hellions are going to press forwards, and these Hellions are continuing to pull away. It just feels like Mo just lost so much momentum early. I mean, yeah, this Viking again and Overlord's nice and all. This one Marauder, I don't know why or how it's actually picking up this, damage on a hatchery. Don't know why that's still around here at the moment. That's kind of crazy. There's 2 more siege tanks coming out, plus 1 vehicle weapons. We are going to try and see a plane to mech from our Terran player here, but I don't see this being too pretty, right? I don't see this turning out too well. This Orbital Command moves its way towards the 3rd base, and Banshee makes its way to the top side of the map. Banshee picks off his Zergling to start us off, and more of those Lings going to start taking a lot of damage here. 2 Banshees, group of Hellions, all gathered up as 9 Mutalisks on the way out, plus 1 melee. Yeah, so you actually cancel that, go into missiles. And obviously with the Mutas out, you're going to start harassing, but already switching it to Hydras and an Infestation Pit as a follow-up, so You know, Bassett here is not going to be on just the meters for a long time. He's got 9 meters, it's a decent amount, and you know, right now already shutting down some Hellions without them doing anything. It's a good start for the Mutalisks. Although I say without doing anything, maybe I'm cursing it, because boom into the mineral line, 1 drone, 2 drones. That's it. So I think 2 drones can still justify as basically nothing at all. These meters out up the left-hand side. We do just see Queens, Overlords setting up in the center. So the Mutalisks still coming over towards the top. Lurker Den dropping down in the main base. So getting that started too. There's a couple of missile turrets coming in. And again, Siege Tank setting up. A couple of Vikings pushing those Mutas away. And there is our Hive on the way in the main base as well. So setting up over there. For that, as we have got a few more Hydras on the way out, a couple more Overlords coming into play. These Hellions are going to drive by and pick away at a couple of drones as well. So that's 4 workers killed, make that 5, probably bring it up to 6. And 11 Hydras coming out. So the Hive is continuing along here. It's about halfway done. It's obviously just the next stage for Bassett is moving up to the top. Modius has really been in this kind of falling apart process, I feel, for a while. Now, he has a decent army, right? Like, he's not terribly set up, right? His worker count's okay, 63. But, you know, there's a few meters harassing around. It just feels like this Hive is coming up, and there's no preparation at all for Modius. I feel like a couple of Vipers are going to come out, and he's just going to make his life hell. Like, he's going to drop Flying Cloud or 2, and just, like, overrun this army. So, I don't know. It just feels like this is going to get a little bit messy, a little bit crazy here. As our Mutalisks back out over to the left-hand side now. Hellion, Tank, Thor continue to gather up in the center. And those Queens going to drop down a few Crypt Jammers. As we do see the few changes making their way up to the upper left side. Scan into the center. Hydras, Queens, Overseers joining up together, and we're just going to be seeing our Tank Thor army making their way through some rocks. Mutal is going to fly in, and we do see the Mutal is going to get turned away there. A few more Hydras still hanging around in the middle of the map. Viper will start to consume on up as we do have seismic spines dropping through. Hydra's Spear, the muscular augments coming in as well, so that's going to be done in a moment or so. And still just seeing this army of Modius kind of, well, trying to take a Viper. I mean, there's the Vipers we talked about, and boom, blinding clouds, and there's just so many Hydras. I mean, it's not even close, right? These cores, these tanks are going to get stomped, and Bassett will take another map for 3D Clan. So hey, it's a nice one on the board. It's an extra $10 to the 3D Clan. Congratulations to them. You know, it's a good, you know, every victory you can pick up, every map can count, and you know, it's nice to get swept 5. You know, it always feels bad when it's the best of 7 and then the end scoreline's like 5-1. You're like, damn, did we really have to play the extra map? This time, you know, able to fight it back a little bit. Good series today, guys. We've had some excellent StarCraft. Like I said, if you've missed TY versus Trap earlier, it is amazing series. It's available on my YouTube channel right now. That's !YT in the chat. I 100% recommend you go watch it. Yes, some self-promotion, but if you missed it earlier, and you're looking for more StarCraft tonight, it is an amazing best of 5. So check that out, !YT in the chat. We'll give you the link to YouTube. It's my most recent upload, so pretty easy to find. So yeah, check that out. Obviously, I'm going to run a set of ads at the end here and host someone up as well, so you can obviously go over there to spread some StarCraft love too. So yeah, thanks so much for joining in. It's been a pleasure, as always. Thank you for helping us to fill the Christmas tree a little bit further. Hopefully tomorrow we might get a tree top